Thank you to all of our underwriters.
All-American Trophies for all your custom screen printing and embroidery needs, located on South Broadway.
Art Main, women's clothing, accessories, and art supplies, 13 Main Street South.
Buffalo Wild Wings, sports, great beer, and food located on South Broadway across from Walmart.
Digital Office Center, technology solutions for every business need, located in Minot and Bismarck.
MSU Beaver Hockey. Visit us online at msubeaverhockey.com or on Facebook and Twitter.
MSU Athletics, NCAA Division II, promoting good character and a positive experience. Red Rising.
Red and Green, Minot State's official student-run newspaper.
Midwest Oil Jobs brings employers, retailers, and other professionals from the Midwest to connect under one roof.
Bridgeford Construction LLC, for all your concrete needs, residential and commercial.
Jacobson Music, a family-owned music business with 3 retail locations in Dickinson, Bismarck, and Minot.
Pepsi, the local Pepsi-Cola bottling company serving the North Dakota areas of Minot, Dickinson, Devils Lake, and Bottineau.
Fiance Bridal, located in downtown Minot, and now you can shop online.
Watney Realtors, full-service real estate agencies handling residential, commercial, and investment properties. You can visit them online at minothomes.com. Watney Realtors Carrie Montoya, located on Northwest Broadway.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer, located at the Beaver Ridge Plaza.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream. Good times to be together.
KYYX FM 97 Kicks, today's hot new country.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
KIZZ FM Z94, Minot's only station for today's hit music.
KZTR FM 105.3 The Fox, Minot's rock station.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KXMA Mix 99.9, Minot's best music mix.
MSU Art Department, stimulating creativity campus-wide by providing exhibits and art events.
Pita Pit, fresh thinking, healthy eating, located on South Broadway.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
iHeartMedia, providing multi-platform advertising and marketing opportunities for partners and world-class entertainment for listeners.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican cuisine, fresh and fast.
Tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast mixing Mexican and Western flavors. Badlands Grill, featuring the area's finest steak, seafood, chicken, pasta selections, and our own delicious classic comfort foods. At Badlands, everyone is welcome and everyone is our special guest.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Splurge. I'm Leif Bakken.
And I'm Anthony Battle.
And I guess our dreams came true. We get to do this TV show for you. The Sports Splurge, all about sports. We've got a lot coming up for you. Anthony, starting off with some Minot State stuff. We'll have debate and discussion with our first special guest, Aundrey Livingston.
All right.
And then we'll have professional scores coming up as well.
Sounds like a good show.
So glad you could join us for the first episode of the Sports Splurge. And with that, we'll get right into it, starting with Minot State sports. As Minot State basketball hit the road this weekend, and they took on Minnesota Duluth on Friday and St. Cloud on Saturday. The men's team split the weekend with a win over Duluth. 94-64 was the score, but they lost to St. Cloud 72-80. Tyler Rudolph had the most points, as expected, and he had a total of 39 points on the weekend to lead the Beavers.
He's definitely been doing really well. And next up in Minot State sports, we have track and field was in action at South Dakota State on Friday. The Beavers had 2 event champions and 1 school record was broken. Freshman Clarence Hardy won the long jump, and then sophomore Caleb Curry won the men's pole vault, and senior Del Rey, she broke the school record for the 60-meter hurdles with a 9:34. So she was moving, I can tell you that. as I was there filming and doing photography for the track and field.
Well, I tell you what, that track team's been working really hard on the off season, and now they always like to hit that indoor season hard, and then of course when you move on into later in the season, you get to go outdoor. Backing up to basketball, women's team was out at Duluth and St. Cloud as well, but unfortunately came up with 2 losses, 55-71 against Duluth and 51-58 against St. Cloud. Savannah Kingsbury scored the most points for the Beavers with 23 points over the weekend. Both teams will be on the road again this weekend as they go to Wayne State, Nebraska, and Augustana College the 30th and 31st.
Hoping for some wins this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then we have wrestling versus the University of Jamestown at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So come out and support your Beavers as they'll be wrestling Jamestown University. And then wrestling is also in action Friday as well against St. Cloud State, who basketball just played.
You know, looking forward to seeing some good wrestling. Going to get to see some new guys, the way it sounds, at least
true.
Tomorrow anyway.
And that's true. There's going to be a couple new guys in the weights, so you get to see them in action. And then Friday, St. Cloud State's ranked number 1 in the nation as a wrestling team, so should be a very tough one for the Beavers, but I think we can pull out a couple wins against them. Well,
what are you expecting against Jamestown tomorrow? I've heard some good things and some bad things on their side, but I want to hear it from you as a wrestler.
What we all expect from Jamestown is just they're going to come out hard, and they're going to try to beat us. But I think the way we've been working this past couple of days, there's no chance for them. We're definitely going to do a great job against Jamestown, and I think a couple of new additions to the lineup will be very well additions for the Minot State Beaver team.
You know, thinking about basketball, Wayne State, I think the Beavers can handle pretty easily, but Augustana College, I believe it's on the women's side, they're nationally ranked. And so it's going to be a tough grind for them.
What also, the men's side is tough because they beat the University of Iowa in a preseason exhibition game.
Right.
So I think both teams are going to have a little bit of a tough time, but expect for our men and women to come out pretty strong. I expect Tyler Rudolph to have a good game as he's been having so far lately.
Well, and especially as a sophomore, it's so impressive as a sophomore, as a young guy, to be a true freshman and go out there and do it. He just does his job right, and of course you got to credit the rest of the team as well.
That's true.
Nate Mertens, a junior. You've got Williams as a senior, and all those other seniors as well.
They have good ball movement. I like their ball movement, especially in the half court. They don't stand around. They're always moving. They're always trying to find the open man to get that open shot, which Tyler Rudolph, he's really good at getting open.
And jumping back to St. Cloud as number 1 against a nationally ranked team, what's that like? I mean, thinking about taking on a tough team like that.
Well, I remember from last year taking on the number 1 team. They were number 1 last year as well. It was just you're really nervous and really nerve-wracking, especially at their home court. But we're going to be home this time, and I think that'll help us out a bit for against St. Cloud. They're really tough.
All right, well, if you want to catch any of the Minot State action, go to msubeavers.com and you can catch the video stats and even buy tickets if you'd like to go to any of these games. I think we're going to have a quick break and be back with our next section. We call it Debate and Discussion, where we'll have Aundrey Livingston, our special guest, come in. But first, we'll hear from our underwriters one more time here on the Sports Splurge.
Thank you to all of our underwriters.
All-American Trophies for all your custom screen printing and embroidery needs, located on South Broadway.
Art Main, women's clothing, accessories, and art supplies. 13 Main Street South.
Buffalo Wild Wings, sports, great beer, and food located on South Broadway across from Walmart.
Digital Office Center, technology solutions for every business need, located in Minot and Bismarck.
MSU Beaver Hockey. Visit us online at msubeaverhockey.com or on Facebook and Twitter.
MSU Athletics, NCAA Division II, promoting good character and a positive experience. Red Rising.
Red and Green, Minot State's official student-run newspaper.
Midwest Oil Jobs brings employers, retailers, and other professionals from the Midwest to connect under one roof.
Bridgeford Construction LLC for all your concrete needs, residential and commercial.
Jacobson Music, a family-owned music business with 3 retail locations in Dickinson, Bismarck, and Minot.
Pepsi, the local Pepsi-Cola bottling company serving the North Dakota areas of Minot, Dickinson, Devils Lake, and Bottineau.
Fiancé Bridal, located in downtown Minot, and now you can shop online.
Watney Realtors, full-service real estate agencies handling residential, commercial, and investment properties. You can visit them online at minothomes.com. Watney Realtors Carrie Montoya, located on Northwest Broadway.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer, located at the Beaver Ridge Plaza.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream. Good times to be together.
KYYX FM 97 Kicks, today's hot new country.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
KIZZ FM Z94, Minot's only station for today's hit music.
KZTR FM 105.3 The Fox, Minot's rock station.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KXMA Mix 99.9, Minot's best music mix.
MSU Art Department, stimulating creativity campus-wide by providing exhibits and art events.
Pita Pit, fresh thinking, healthy eating, located on South Broadway.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
iHeartMedia, providing multi-platform advertising and marketing opportunities for partners and world-class entertainment for listeners.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican cuisine, fresh and fast.
Tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast mixing Mexican and Western flavors. Badlands Grill, featuring the area's finest steak, seafood, chicken, pasta selections, and our own delicious classic comfort foods. At Badlands, everyone is welcome and everyone is our special guest.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Leif Bakken again.
I'm Anthony Battle. And with us today,
Aundrey Livingston.
And we've got our section of the Sports Splurge, the longest portion. We call it Debate and Discussion. We take things from Twitter and our Facebook, which you can follow us on Twitter at Sports Splurge, and also on Facebook, like our page, the Sports Splurge. And we get all our information. Not all of our information comes from there, but what we talk about here. And just a little bit of a roundtable heated discussion. And thanks to Dre for being our first guest on the first episode of the Sports Splurge. And first we'll talk to you. And also I want to thank him so much for doing that first video that you got to see. And we'll be using that throughout the semester. So thank you so much on that.
No problem.
But let's talk about your experience in sports, Dre. You've had some experience broadcasting it. You've had some experience playing it, I imagine. Just kind of tell us what you've been involved in.
Well, I played football, basketball, soccer, track, all in high school. Nothing in college, but when I got to college, I kind of focused my love for sports within the broadcasting side and production and all of that. So I worked at iHeartMedia for about a year, and while I was there, I was the executive producer for Scott Cattell, Jesse Rossman, and Andy. He does state hockey, play-by-play for state hockey, and a few other guys over there. They're really cool, really down-to-earth guys, and I just did executive producing for them. I did a couple color with Scott, and did some play-by-play with Jesse Rossman. You know, we had a good time, and it was really fun to get some play-by-play under my belt. You know, Leif, you're the voice for Minot State, but you know, it was a good time. I had fun. It was cool.
Good, and you know, I think that Anthony and I at least are experiencing that now in college too, that love for sports, even though we aren't, I guess Anthony gets to wrestle here, but you know, you and I don't get to play here, but we get to keep being around the teams.
Oh, now, I'm an intramural champion today. I'm an intramural champion. Okay?
All right, so let me back that up and say, I don't get to play many sports here, but you know, it's so awesome to be around in the college atmosphere and be around that.
Definitely.
And as a player, and as an intramural athlete as well, it's so much fun to interact with those guys who get to come out and play a little bit.
I'm a player and a fan. I still come out and support basketball and all the other sports, football, soccer. I support my other sports, but you know, I get the best of both worlds, I guess. Even though waking up at 6 in the morning sometimes isn't the greatest.
All right. The cool thing that I like about broadcasting and then talking to each player has their own story. You know, they're individuals, they're people, they're persons just like you and I. Yeah. They go through their different battles, their struggles day in and day out, you know, and some come from a hard background, a hard life, and you know, and the reason they wake up every day is probably because of basketball or because of football or because of wrestling, you know, and so everybody has their own story, and I think it's special.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, let's get to what we call debate and discussion. How it kind of works is we've pulled these things off of Twitter, and we'll talk about them a little bit. Anthony, you can go first, then you can go, Dre, and then if there's added comment to it, if we get in a little argument, I'll try to moderate it as best as I can, but we'll take it as easy as possible here. Starting off with, if folks didn't know, SportsCenter says assistant coach Tyrone Lue signed a multi-year deal as the Cavaliers coach as David Blatt got fired. So what are your thoughts on that, Anthony?
I don't like that David Blatt got fired. I think he was a fine coach. The team was first in the Eastern Conference. I mean, what more do you want from a guy? He took his team to the finals last year. And I guess, I feel like it was more of a inside where LeBron James and David Blatt didn't get along. You can tell they didn't get along on the sideline. You could tell in many different ways that they didn't. So I feel like that's why the Cavaliers fired Blatt, because he also had the same problem in Miami, but the GMs and the head staff over there kind of didn't worry about it too much because they felt like Eric Spoelstra knew what he was doing. And I feel like David Blatt did too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way I see it. Okay, if you get your team to, you're first in the Eastern Conference, right?
Exactly.
You get your team to the finals, and you're up 2-1 versus the Golden State Warriors, who are having a tremendous season this year.
Yeah.
I think they're like 41-4, on pace. 44-4. 40-4. Okay, yeah. They're on pace to get close to the all-time best record in the NBA.
Right. Yeah.
And if you get your team to the finals and you're up 2-1, even though you lost, you're up 2-1. Best in the East.
This year, still best.
Still number one in the East. Yep. And then last year, number one in the East. Last year, you get to the finals. You're 2-1 over the Warriors. How do you fire that coach? There has to be some conspiracy going on in the locker room.
That's why I feel like it was either players or mainly LeBron James, because he is the face. He's the face of the Cavaliers, the face of Cleveland, and all that.
Right.
That is why they fired him, because I feel like LeBron just didn't like him. And you could tell, even on the sidelines, LeBron would ignore him. LeBron wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's back up to the next. Kind of the next section on it is the SportsCenter also released saying LeBron James knew about the firing. So do you think he's the reason? Like you were getting at, Anthony, like he ignores him. He doesn't quite acknowledge him like he should. So I mean, is he the reason this happened?
I don't know.
I wouldn't say all of it's the reason, but I'd say a good 70 to 80% of the reason why he got fired was because LeBron didn't like him that much, and LeBron obviously likes Tyrone Lue a lot more. And he even said it. I don't have the quotes here, but he did say that he enjoys having Tyrone Lue as a head coach for the Cavaliers now, even though he's only been a coach for a day. And by the way, his first game, they got beat.
They got smacked.
And it was bad.
And it was on the very first game ever on ABC prime time, where they're going to show the basketball game Saturday night. So he loses his debut on a debut network of what they're doing. I mean, that's a bad start. And about 20 years ago in the finals, Lakers versus the 76ers, Tyronn Lue got crossed over by Allen Iverson, and Allen Iverson literally steps over Tyronn Lue and looks at him. I feel like it's all been bad since that day. So no multi-million-dollar I don't like it.
Is Tyronn Lue a good assistant coach though?
I think he's a great assistant coach.
Good assistant, yes.
And see, that's the thing though. LeBron James, now I feel like he has all the power. He's the coach. And Tyronn, you're still the assistant coach. I'm gonna let you know. Because LeBron James, he's the coach. We all know who the real coach is in Cleveland. I'm just saying.
I agree 100%.
All right. Well, for the first thing, I'm actually really impressed with how that went. But we'll move on to the next one. Most of our stuff coming from SportsCenter today, as the power ranking for the NBA is in, and here's the list. Warriors are number 1, Spurs in the number 2 slot. 3 is the Thunder, 4 the Raptors, and 5 the Cavaliers. What are your thoughts on that ranking, Anthony?
Warriors 1, 2, Spurs. Both teams are really close. There's no 1 and 2 you can flip-flop it either way because they have been flip-flopping all season. The Spurs are 38-6 this season. They're only 2 games behind Golden State, yet they fall under the radar as a team that no one respects, no one really even thinks about when they think about some of the greats right now playing. But Spurs are definitely right there 1-2. I like that. Thunder is strong. I think they have about 30 wins as well. And the Raptors, Cavaliers, with how the Cavaliers played on their opening day on ABC, it's definitely, I would put the Cavaliers up, the Raptors up above them, and I think that the power rankings are right.
Yeah, I agree with the power rankings. The Warriors, Spurs, easily they're the top 2 teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
Hands down. You know, I think the Spurs are like 2 games behind the Warriors, and that's crazy. They played tonight. Actually, they played tonight. Tim Duncan. Greg Popovich said that Tim Duncan won't play.
He's not playing him.
But it'll still be a great matchup because both teams.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Aldridge.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP. He's just a monster. There's many All-Stars in both matchups. So
Both.
I feel like those top 2 teams. Easy. And then 3, Thunder, great team. Russell Westbrook,
yeah, and that's what I was thinking.
monster.
Sometimes I think, especially, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I think the Thunder kind of came out of nowhere a couple years ago, and I think they might surge again. But that's just the way I look at it. I don't know.
Hopefully, they have a great team. They have a great bench. And then their new coach, Billy Donovan, I think he's doing some great things with them. And they're the Raptors in the East. Watch out for them. If they could stay healthy with DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry dropped about 15 pounds over the offseason. If they can stay healthy, they will be the team to give Cleveland a run for their money.
A couple other teams that are overlooked in the East, Atlanta Hawks are pretty good. They're not that bad. And the Chicago Bulls, they're not that bad either. And they actually beat the Cavaliers on, was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday? They beat the Cavaliers on Saturday. And I feel like those 2 teams as well are some dark horses that, even though the Cavaliers are at the top right now, I feel like the way they're playing right now, they're not going to be able to make it to the finals. But
no, the Cavaliers have to definitely focus on their defense. When LeBron was in Miami, they pride themselves on their defense. Now that they're in Cleveland, they just have weapons and Kyrie Irving. He's just my Uncle Drew. He's a monster. And then LeBron James, best player in the NBA right now. And then Kevin Love. They need to buckle down on defense and play better defense because Toronto, they play great defense. The Hawks, they pride themselves on defense. But when it comes to the Cavaliers, they have defensive slip-ups here and there, and they struggle with the pick and roll. Kevin Love just looks lost on the floor on defense. He does. And then that goes into their inconsistency on offense. So
then you see the Warriors and Spurs, they're both really good defensive teams. Thunder's really good on defense. They got those top 3 teams, they're really good on defense. See, the Raptors are good. Cavaliers are just falling down. I think they're just going to keep dropping if they play the way they are.
I agree.
All right, well, let's step away from basketball and talk about the NFL. And NFL says that the NFL player, the best player in the NFL, will be suiting up for the Super Bowl. Yes or no? Do you agree, Anthony?
It depends on which player they're talking about, Peyton Manning or Cam Newton. But I'm assuming they're going to say Cam Newton. And I feel like, yeah, he's league MVP this year.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. League MVP this year. Definitely had a great year. He scored 50 touchdowns total so far. And I expect more from him in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to do great.
And the Panthers doing a lot of damage. We'll get to that in the next section last night. But also walking in with a lot of records. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, when you were a kid and you got you got Madden, you got Madden, 20, you got Madden 16, the newest Madden, and you go and create your little quarterback on there. You boost all the ratings to 99. He can run, he can pass, and he can do all of that. And that is Cam Newton. Cam Newton's the player the quarterback you create on Madden, and
And I like how he likes to have fun with it too.
Oh yeah, he has fun. He's running around having fun. Dab Nation. He's dabbing his way to the Super Bowl. So he's a monster. I think he's the best player in the NFL right now.
Definitely
MVP. His progression is really great, and I feel like I had the Cardinals winning, but the way the Panthers smacked up on them last night, Panthers will win the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up, but quickly, Anthony, Panthers or Cardinals, Super Bowl? Panthers or Broncos.
Panthers.
Excuse me.
From Carolina all the way.
Dre?
Panthers, baby.
All right. And, of course, we have the social media news of the day, which we'll get from you as our viewer from Twitter or Facebook, so please go out there and follow us or like it. And again, we'll have our social media news of the day next time on Debate and Discussion. Thank you, Aundrey Livingston. We'll be back with the professional sports scores and schedule on the way on the Sports Splurge.
Thank you to all of our underwriters.
All-American Trophies for all your custom screen printing and embroidery needs. Located on South Broadway.
Art Main, women's clothing, accessories, and art supplies. 13 Main Street South.
Buffalo Wild Wings, sports, great beer, and food located on South Broadway across from Walmart.
Digital Office Center, technology solutions for every business need. Located in Minot and Bismarck.
MSU Beaver Hockey. Visit us online at msubeaverhockey.com or on Facebook and Twitter.
MSU Athletics, NCAA Division II, promoting good character and a positive experience. Red Rising.
Red and Green, Minot State's official student-run newspaper.
Midwest Oil Jobs brings employers, retailers, and other professionals from the Midwest to connect under one roof.
Bridgeford Construction LLC, for all your concrete needs, residential and commercial.
Jacobson Music, a family-owned music business with 3 retail locations in Dickinson, Bismarck, and Minot.
Pepsi, the local Pepsi Cola bottling company serving the North Dakota areas of Minot, Dickinson, Devils Lake, and Bottineau.
Fiancé Bridal, located in downtown Minot, and now you can shop online.
Watney Realtors, full-service real estate agencies handling residential, commercial, and investment properties. You can visit them online at minothomes.com. Watney Realtors Carrie Montoya, located on Northwest Broadway.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer, located at the Beaver Ridge Plaza.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream. Good times to be together.
KYYX FM 97 Kicks, today's hot new country.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
KIZZ FM Z94, Minot's only station for today's hit music.
KZTR FM, 105.3 The Fox, Minot's rock station.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KXMA Mix 99.9, Minot's best music mix.
MSU Art Department, stimulating creativity campus-wide by providing exhibits and art events.
Pita Pit, fresh thinking, healthy eating, located on South Broadway.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
iHeartMedia, providing multi-platform advertising and marketing opportunities for partners and world-class entertainment for listeners.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican cuisine, fresh and fast.
Tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast mixing Mexican and Western flavors. Badlands Grill, featuring the area's finest steak, seafood, chicken, pasta selections, and our own delicious classic comfort foods. At Badlands, everyone is welcome and everyone is our special guest.
Welcome back to the Sports Splurge, everybody. I'm Leif Bakken.
And I'm Anthony Battle.
And we're up to our final segment of the Sports Splurge. It's just professional scores and the schedule coming up for you. And so we'll just start off with the NFL. Last night, Anthony, we just got done talking to our guest Dre about it. Broncos beat the Patriots 20-18, and then the Cardinals fall to the Panthers 15-49.
Did.
Wasn't expecting that one for that last game last night.
The way Carolina is playing, they're hot. They're 17-1 now. I think that they're going to be 18-1, and I feel like they're definitely going to be a Super Bowl winners. They're favorites at Vegas right now. If you look at that, if you are a betting man, Carolina is the favorite, and then the Broncos. Don't underestimate them though. I feel like they have a really good defense. Peyton Manning looked great yesterday. Even though he is, getting older there. He ran for a first down. So
oldest quarterback in the league.
Not that old yet.
So is Tom Brady, though, second oldest. So I think that if the Broncos win the Super Bowl, and our one cameraman, Matt Huffman, probably won't appreciate this, I think Peyton Manning's probably going to retire if the Broncos win. But that was a good game, I thought, between the Patriots and the Broncos, and I personally am just glad that Tom Brady's not going to the Super Bowl.
So the Patriots free Super Bowl, and I'm very happy about that. I'm not a big Patriots fan.
Well,
But
I guess.
I am happy Carolina though. This is their second shot at winning a Super Bowl for the first time, and the young quarterback Cam Newton is trying to take them there, and I think he can.
Well, we'll see how that one pans out between the Broncos and the Panthers. Moving on to the NBA with the schedule coming up for tonight, Boston Celtics versus the Washington Wizards. Who are you picking there?
I'm taking the Boston Celtics in this one. They look good. Washington is having a slump of a year. They were actually supposed to be, one of the top 4 teams in the East, and they have not had a top 4 team year at all.
Also at 6, we've got Minnesota and Cleveland. I'm going to guess. I like the Timberwolves, but I think the Cavs might handle this one.
I think the Cavs are going to bounce back, and handle this one. I think they're going to handle this one really well.
Miami Heat versus the Chicago Bulls. I was a Bulls fan back in the day, so I don't know if I just root for them or what my deal is there, but I think the Bulls can take on the Heat. Maybe.
I'm going to go Miami Heat on this one. I don't know. I feel like they're playing really well.
Magic and the Grizzlies at 7. Rockets and the Pelicans at 7 as well. Detroit Pistons versus the Utah Jazz at 8 o'clock tonight. Charlotte Hornets versus the Sacramento Kings at 9. Hornets or Kings?
Hornets. I like Charlotte. Playing really well.
Move on to the NHL, where the Bruins will be taking on the Flyers, the Red Wings, and the Islanders. Canadians versus the Blue Jackets, Sabres, and the Rangers. Arizona Coyotes versus the Minnesota Wild. That should be an all right game. And Calgary Flames versus the Dallas Stars.
One more thing we forgot to mention. San Antonio Spurs, Golden State Warriors tonight.
Yes.
Big game. Best regular season matchup based on winning percentage in NBA history. I'm going Spurs.
I think I'll agree with you and go with Spurs. And with that, that's all we've got for the professional scores and the schedule. Also coming up this week for Minot State, again, there's basketball doubleheaders this weekend you can catch on MSUBeavers.com. Wayne State, Augustana, wrestling this week on Tuesday and Friday. We'll have you next week on the Sports Splurge. I'm Leif Bakken.
And I'm Anthony Battle.
We'll see you next time.